Well, hello folks, how are you guys today? We're going to have a look at our Wrigley truck, have a closer look round it and see if we can actually get it running. I do not know. Anywho's, before we start, I've had complaints that you guys can't hear me. I have bought a cheap as chips crappy microphone. Whether this is going to make a blind bit of difference, I do not know. It's very simple, it's wireless, and it's one of them little cheap clip-on jobs off eBay. Is it going to work? I do not know. Apparently I plug this bit into the phone, and I wear this bit. Apparently it works. So, the rest of this video is going to be with me wearing this. So, we don't put no credits in, because I want you to tell me if the sound quality is any different. I haven't tried this yet. I haven't plugged this in the phone, so it isn't working yet, but I think I'll just plug it in, turn it on, and I should be well away. Right, let's get on and outside with the Wrigley truck. Not hopeful.
Well guys, it says on the screen it's recording through microphone. I haven't a clue, so you should still be able to hear me. There are things to be doing on this, things I need to check. Now then, apparently this has got a 3-speed gearbox. Obviously no reverse, because to reverse it you just get off, turn the whole thing round, flip your handles over and you're away in reverse. Which is forward and which is reverse, I do not know, but I'm assuming exhaust facing forward is going to be the way to go. Do you actually sit on a seat here with your feet on this bit? I have no clue. Look like that's a footrest. I did look at another video and there's 2 metals come up and like a seat here. Oh, I don't know. Anyhow, I want to check out where this gear linkage is. This, I think, has something to do with a brake, which doesn't appear to do anything. Don't even seem to be connected. But apparently, somewhere under the flywheel, there's a gear knob meant to be. And I believe this shaft here should be where a starting handle goes, but I don't know. We're now going to weigh that up. I don't have a starting handle, a gear lever or a handbrake lever, which apparently they're meant to have. Whew, I have no clue. Right, first thing, I'm going to get a pair of mole grips on here, because this should, when you pull this forward, that should turn your engine over. For starting, need to get my mole grips on there a bit better than that. Still not tight. There we go. Right, that's doing nothing. And our clutch is out with clutching nothing. Right, okay. Well, that's turning the sprocket the other side and the truck's not moving. I think we have found a gearbox. I think the gear lever, neutral. Cool, that's definitely a higher gear. Cool, and that's definitely a higher gear. So I think, yes, this has got a 3-speed gearbox. That's definitely neutral. So how's this going to turn the engine? The engine won't turn because there's no chain on it, but we should somehow turn this engine sprocket with nothing else. Right, what I think's happening here, guys, we're in neutral and that sprocket the other side's turning, yeah? So I think when the chain's on, this is going to turn the engine. So we need to get take the starting handle for this, and when you want to start it, you sort of pull him out here, hing, on the handle, off it goes. So it does look like we have a neutral there, and like a 4 gear here. Yeah, see, there's like a first gear, neutral, a second gear, and a third gear. So it looks like we do have 3 speeds on this, guys. Okay. There's some cars going up the track today. I have ordered a new chain, which is simple British standard 1/2 inch chain. I ordered 1 meter of that with a split link yesterday. So hopefully that'll be turning up very soon. I take it that's a neutral. Oh yeah, this first. That's neutral. And there's your third and your second. Yep, I got it. Right, this bit of wood on here is doing my head in. Right, I think first thing to do is, there are things need addressing. This clutch cable someone's put on here is way too tight. So I'm going to move this handle, if you can see that, that's pulling. It's pulling this really tight. This is not the right lever, but it is a locking lever that'll actually pull in and hold the clutch, look. So although that's not right, we're going to keep it for a little while. So I'm going to move this down the handles a little so that ain't pulling on this cable, look. It's pulling it out here. So we need to move this down to about here somewhere. Alright, what are they? Allen keys. I think this is off some form of bicycle. Alright, let me get some Allen keys and we'll have a look at adjusting this thing. Alright guys, we are back with Allen keys. Is this the right size? Yes, it is. Oh, look at that. It's undoing. Excellent. So let's slacken these off and just move this down just a little bit, so we don't have all that full play in it. And we need to find ease of use. Right, there you go. Do you see what's happened now? Now I've moved that down a bit. It don't appear to be pulling that cable tight. See, we've got a little bit of slack here, so we can now move the handles over. Do you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a cable tie around that, would it? No, we need to put some proper bolts in here because they're all wrong. I think we'll do that next. And then we'll look into this engine because this all looks rather dubious. Very much dubious. I think you'll find the fuel line on these should go through the hole in the engine and come out here and onto the carb. Yeah, I don't like that running that close to that sprocket, so we'll reroute the fuel line. We'll take the carb off also. There's actually some fuel coming out. Oh, smells a bit dodgy, but there is actually fuel coming out of this hose, so I don't think that's long hard fuel in. And then we will take this carb off, replace these O-rings, because the guy did say it had a petrol leak on this O-ring. He said he had put petrol in and it just ran straight out of the O-ring. So we will, I'm not even going to waste petrol putting it in, we'll take this carb right
Well, man cavers, it's the next day. Sadly, we had technical difficulties with the wireless microphones last night. I don't know what happened, but you missed an hour of footage because the damn microphones didn't work. They worked for all of what, 8-10 minutes? Nothing. So, an hour and 10-minute video was turned into a 10-minute video. But that ain't good enough. I can't do nothing about it, and you don't want to watch a video which is silent for an hour. This is why I don't like using external microphones, guys. So much trouble with them. I've heard so many YouTubers losing footage or having to do voiceovers, which I don't know how to do, all because their microphones didn't work. And there's no way to know till you edit, and then you realise it ain't working. Anyhow, I'll drop a couple of clips in there. You missed me doing the carburetor. So we had the carburetor off the machine, on the bench, totally stripped, cleaned it out, put it back together. You also missed me putting petrol in it, and it was literally pouring out of the petrol tap as quick as I was putting it in. It weren't even making it down the fuel line of the carburetor. Oh, I think you did see where we put the new fuel line in. Anyhow, basically that hour, what you missed was me disassembling and rebuilding a carburetor. Some of you all say, oh, I haven't missed a lot, and some of you might be a bit gutted. Some of you might be saying, thank God for that, I wouldn't want to see that anyhow. That leaves us where we are today, which is our petrol tap, which I said was leaking, and it was. I poured petrol in, it ran straight out the bottom. I was having to catch it in a cup as quick as it was coming out. So all I've done is I've left the petrol tap in my little pot of petrol, because I had a little pot of petrol on the bench I'd cleaned the carb out with. So we're now going to see if that works. I'll soon know, because that tap, that's one of the old brass taps with the cork in, and that was all wibbly and loose, and yeah, it was just running out as quick as it was going in. So let's get on the bench and we'll have a look, and hopefully sometimes what can happen is you can do a couple of things to them old petrol taps when they play up like that. You can either do the quick option and take them apart and drop them in a cup full of boiling water, and that'll often instantly swell the cork. Or, because of, well, just because I haven't even got the chain yet, you can leave them soaked in petrol overnight and hope they swell up. So we're now going to take this out. There he is. We're going to take this tap out, and we're going to see if it's took all the slop out of it. It's better than it was, but it is still going to drip, I can tell. Now, that is still going to drip, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. I think enough for us to actually take it outside, put it in the machine, and then we'll see if it'll actually start. What I wanted to do in yesterday's video, thankfully, I never got that far, or else you would have missed a start if it does start. So yes, we'll put this tap back in, and yeah, I'll meet you outside. Right guys, like I was saying, I'll show you quickly what I got accomplished yesterday. I had the carb right off, as you can see it's spangly clean. I replaced the two manky bolts that were in there because the carb weren't on right. I've took away that horrible thick bit of fuel line and replaced it with this bit that comes through. But as soon as I poured petrol in the tank, it was coming straight out of the tap. So I need to put another nylon washer on here and just get that tap back in. And then we can put some petrol in this thing. Go for a start. We'd better do some basics like check the oil and stuff like that. Right, back in a second. I have also cleaned the little gauze on the fuel tap. So we've got two filters, you see, on the billiards. You always have a gauze on this one, on this fuel tap, and then there's a little gauze in the banjo on the carburetor. Unfortunately, you missed me doing all that carburetor, but it was basically stripping it down, giving it a clean up with some petrol, pushing some cleaning tips through the key jets, and basically that was basically it. You didn't miss a lot, guys, if I'm honest. You didn't miss a lot. Alright, didn't think that tap was going to go in there for a minute. She was a bit tight. Come on, tap. There we go, that'll do. Alright, put our petrol pipe back on. Right. You're basically caught up to where I was yesterday. Now I want to check the oil, which I haven't checked yet. Do you know, the oil looks really clean, but it's only just on the stick. So I'm going to just put a little bit of oil in there, because just on the stick isn't good enough. Alright, let me get some oil. There we go. Absolutely perfect. Oh yeah. Alright, that's the oil level good. I think we can put some petrol in this, see if it goes. Hopefully the chain will be here. I'm hoping maybe today. If not, it'll probably be Monday, because I am itching to see if this thing drives. I really am. Did I tell you I've discovered gears? I can't remember whether that was on the bit of the video where I had my audio, but this has got 3 forward gears and a neutral. So yes, let me get my petrol. Oops, get my petrol. We'll put it in, see if it goes. So let's put some petrol in. It should be off at the minute. Hopefully we will have no leaks. I'm expecting a drip, but hopefully no leaks. Right, it says pull on. Right, we've pulled on. Have we got any drips? So far, no. Right. Do we have petrol getting to the carburetor? That's another question. Have we actually got fuel coming out of the fuel line? Come on. Oh, look at the yellow coming out there. Look, there you go. Right, we have definitely got petrol. Did you see all that old crappy fuel it pushed out the bottom of the tank? And I thought that tank was empty because it just had a sweat in it. Oof. Anyhow, I have made up a starter rope, which is here. I've just made that up ahead of time because the starting handle's missing on this. There's meant to be a lever come on here, like I said, and you pull that, and that pull the engine to start it. That lever's missing, so I've made a rope. The last thing you want to do is wrap a rope around there. Wrap the rope around your hand and pull. Really bad idea, guys. Never do it. Because in the unlikely event that backfire, it can snatch that rope back in and pull your damned hand in. So always have a handle. Even if you make a crude rope like I have. There we go. An old handle with a rope through it. So, let's get a bit of rope wrapped around there and see if this puppy starts. Is there anything else to be looking for? I believe there's an on and off switch. There is off, on, off, on. Right, ignition on. I haven't checked if we've got a spark. I doubt this thing will go, but if it does, it saves me pulling flywheels, guys. Of course, to get to the points on these, you do have to take the flywheels off. So we'll put the choke on, wrap my starter string round here, and if this thing got a spark, she should start. Oh, it's got compression, the little sod. Right, let's have a look and see if it does anything. You come this way. Wow, look at that! idle speed was way high. Apart from that, she's running an absolute champ. And no leaks in that petrol tap. Well, would you Adam and Eve that? Doesn't she run like a little champ? Look at that. Look at that. Good, my handles rattling. The Wrigley lives. That is fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. I can see this bolt is not tight. I think we need to do some tightening up. Well, I am quite amazed that it started up first pull. There we go. That's some testament to Avilias, isn't it? That when they do have a spark and the carbs are clean and set up, they do go and they start well. So there you go, good old bit of British engineering. I don't like these handles. In fact, this bolt has dropped off. I need to get a bolt in there and probably put nylox on it, because someone's just cruded bolts in to hold these handles and they really aren't right. Let me find a couple of bolts and we'll try and find them some proper bolts to put in there. So guys, what I've done is I've done some working out, and we have a big hole in this handle and a little one in here. So I've had to quickly, in the lathe, knock up some spaces, if not we were going to be all jibbly. So I knocked up these little spaces, what will fit neatly in here, look, there you go, and the bolt will go through them. So that'll hold the handle tight. So, let's be installing them. Let me get this other one out of the way. Because somebody's put some really rubbish bolts in here. Like really rubbish. I think just to get them out of a muddle. So we can do away with them and use my new attachments. There we go. And yes, I will either get shorter bolts at some point or cut these ones off. But now hopefully we can actually really tighten these up. See, I've made little shims to go. Can you see that? There you go. Where are they? I've made these little shim what go over, so they'll go through the handles. There we go. They'll go through the handles and we can tighten them up. Of course, they stick through a little bit, so we should be able to tighten these and the handles still be relatively loose, so they don't jiffle off. There we go. But we will see. These are all improvements that needed to be done on this thing. Oh yes, and our handle moves and it's now tight. That is most impressive. Alright, let's nip these off just a little. There we go. So if you're ever wondering, I don't quite know how I ever managed without a lathe, because that's proven to be the most handy thing in the world. Right, there we go. Excellent stuff. Right. Well, I think until the chain turns up, guys, there's very little else I can be doing on this. I have the clutch set up now, so that now disengages and engages on the clip. There you go. And engaged. There we are. There we go. Well, that's it, guys, for this video. So I do apologise for the lack of audio, the lack of footage. I did indeed record carburettor, everything, but there was no sound. So no, we've had to resort to a bitty video, which I don't like making. But there you go. Right, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Do you know, out of all the people who watch my videos, Only 35% of you are subscribed. 35%. That leaves a lot more percents to be able to get to. Right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hopefully in the next video we can get the chain on this beast. Skosh him up the road. But we'll see, won't we? Right, see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Ah.
Wrigley Auto Truck Model 206.